Hey, hi, how's it going? We're gonna be planting 2 plants today and cutting 1 plant back. That's all we're doing today. I kind of have a busy day, so I want to get out here and do a little something, but I don't have time for like big project. We just did a big project yesterday. I wanted to tackle that area, but there's another area that I think is gonna be more important to tackle. So we just made the pathway that walks behind the greenhouse, and I wanted to plant up that bed today, but I've got another section that's going to be more impactful that I want to get the plants in the ground now, sooner rather than later, so that way they can grow really big and strong and be the star of the show. So we're going to be planting petunias today, and we're going to be cutting back nepeta today. And so I'm so excited about it. I'm very, very, very excited about this. So we're going to be planting up 2 areas. We're going to plant up this section here and then this section here, because this will kind of be like, this is the first view you see when you're on the patio. And so this corner and that corner need to be like super impactful, because when you come in, this is kind of the section that pulls you through rather than pulling you through this way. So I want these to be like very big, very impactful. And so what we're going to do is we're going to be planting petunias on this side down low, which is something that I don't think I've ever done. Well, I guess that's kind of like, because one year I did the window boxes on top of the arbor, and then when they got a little too big, a little too much, I pulled them out and I did put them in the ground, but they didn't really do anything. So I don't really count that. But we're going to be planting petunias right along the edge here, and then we're going to be planting petunias kind of along the edge here. And we're going to go in with the Superunia Saffron Finch, one of my new favorite petunias. It's so pretty. So this isn't a Vista, so it's not going to grow super crazy. There is the Vista variety, which, so you can see like Bubblegum is a Vista variety, and then you can see like Cool Jazz is a Vista variety. Vista, just think of it like growing insane. It goes absolutely psychotic. And then like the Superunia, they still grow really crazy and do really, really, really well, but not as intense as the Vista series. And I feel like there should be like a second category, like Superunia Vista Bubblegum should kind of be in its own category, because Bubblegum is the biggest and craziest petunia that is out there. And then like the rest of the Vista series from Proven Winners, they get really, really big and they do really, really well, but they don't grow as crazy as Superunia Vista Bubblegum. So I feel like it should be like Superunia Vista 1 and then Superunia Vista. So we're planting some Bubblegums today, and we're not going to plant all the Bubblegums today. And I'm going to try to give these guys proper spacing, and then we're going to do not the jelly bean bed, but we're going to do the other bed with the Superunia Saffron Finch. It's just such a pretty yellow, and I love the like lighter outside. These don't really do it justice because these are so young, but once these start to grow, like even the Superunia Vista Bubblegum, the blooms on them are really small because like they're very, very young, very immature plants. And so once they start to really grow, these blooms will get much, much, much larger, and they'll be much more showy. And then to go over the sizing, the Saffron Finch, it says 4 to 12 inches. Mine usually get like 1.5 feet, so they usually get a pretty good size. And then like the Superunia Vista Bubblegum, it says anywhere from 12 to 24 inches. Mine, and I think because we have such a long growing season, mine can get like at least 24 inches, if not much larger than 24 inches. So they get really, really big. But we also go in with a weekly water-soluble fertilizer every single Friday. We call it Fertilizer Fridays around here. And that's when everything gets a dose of fertilizer. Well, not everything. All of our petunias at least get fertilizer every Friday. And then we also spray with some BT, because otherwise they will come through the little caterpillars and they'll eat off all of our buds. So let's go ahead and get these placed really quick so I can show you guys what I want to do with them. petunias are all placed. The Saffron Finch, I actually could have used less, but I'm planting them just closer together than they actually need to be because I want this to be really impactful pretty quickly. I do kind of wish that that yarrow wasn't there and that I could do like another petunia right there, but we're not moving the yarrow. I think that the yarrow will be, I mean, obviously the yarrow looks very, very happy there, so I'm not going to move the yarrow just to put a petunia in, but I would have loved if I like had the Saffron Finch going all the way down this. I don't know what I was thinking. I should have moved that at a different time. It's way too late to be moving this now. But we're just gonna plant these guys nice and close together. And honestly, like that view alone will just be really pretty. So they're planted closer together than I was planning to do, but that's all right. I was trying this year to learn better spacing, but we're not gonna force it, okay? Actually, I could move these down and just go just slightly further down a little bit. I might do that. And then the Superunia Vista Bubblegum. These guys are planted closer together than they need to be, but I do want pretty instant impact, but they are planted further apart than I normally plant them. I realistically could probably go with one less of these in here, but we're gonna do 6 of them because I do want this to be a really big, impactful show, and I do want it to be impactful quite quickly. So 6 of these guys here, and gosh, thinking about the cost of this project, maybe I should just do 5 because these were $11.99 a piece, and same with the Saffron Finch. I mean, just right here is $72 worth of petunias, so maybe I should space them out a little bit more, and then I'll have one more petunia to put up front, which is what I want to do with the bubblegums also, is use them up front. I'm gonna see what they look like spaced out just a little bit further. It might be a little too much spacing, we'll see. And then over here, I mean, this is $84 worth of petunias, so I'm going to space these guys out just a little bit further. I think that that'll be the smartest decision, but I am going to go in, so we're going to space these out really quickly a little bit better, and then we will go in with one wire basket. These are like, I think $1.25 or $1.50 from the Dollar Tree. They're really good. You got to dig a really big hole, so I'm going to go in with my big auger here, and then I'm also going to go in with some Espoma Biotone. That's what I keep in this bucket here. Don't mind the moss. I was doing a moss project, but slow release fertilizer while planting these guys, and I'm going to go in with a really big helping, so at least one of these small terracotta pots per petunia, and then, like I said, weekly water soluble fertilizer. So let's go ahead and space these guys out a little bit more, see what that looks like, and then we can get to planting. one side is in and planted and looking really good. This is really exciting. I cannot wait for those to like fill out and spill over the edge. The yellow color on them is so pretty. I'm gonna take a little lunch break. We got that one side planted. It is cooking. It's like 85 degrees out here, so it's kind of a little shock to the system. It just kind of came on quickly. So we're gonna take a little lunch break, and then we will go ahead and get these petunias planted. I might have to go in with umbrellas on all of these to just kind of just to give them a little bit of shade. I'm gonna keep an eye on these. If I come back after lunch and these are wilted, which they should not be wilted because the ground is soaking wet in there, it's super muddy. If I come back and they are wilted, I'm going to pop up. I've got little individual umbrellas that can go on top of each one of these until they kind of acclimate to the heat, because these did come from Michigan and the weather there is very different than the weather here. And these were grown in a greenhouse, where now these are full, guns blazing, lots of sun, super hot. So I'm gonna keep an eye on them, and we might have to umbrella these guys. Okay, we're back from lunch, and I had a package show up, so we're gonna go into the greenhouse and open it up. It is the cushions for the greenhouse, and then I also ordered a curtain for under the sink. I look beet red. I don't think I'm that red. Oh man. Okay, the cushions came with their covers. I hope that these fit. Oh man. And the foam. It says that this is 4 of them. Let's see if we can just switch out the covers, because I like these cushions. And so I chose this like natural linen color. It's less intense. The blue is a little too much for me, if we're being completely honest. Okay, because these cushions are a little bit bigger than the cover. We'll see if this fits. Because the cushion, I think, is like a 20-inch cushion, and the cover is like 19 by 19. It's gonna be... That doesn't work. Okay. So much better than the blue. They're a little bit thinner, so the cushion isn't as thick. I don't care. It's less intense. That just feels so much more natural. Let me throw the other one on there really quickly. So much better. There we go. They're a little small. Like, they don't come all the way to the edge, which the other ones like came perfectly to the edge, but I don't even care. That just looks a lot better. The blue just kind of just screamed at you, and I didn't love that. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with the other cushions, but whatever. I've got 2 cushions there. And then what is nice is this was a pack of 4. They didn't have a pack of 2. Otherwise, I would have ordered a pack of 2. But I'll have 2 extra cushions for down the road if anything happens to these ones. And then I ordered a curtain rod. It's just one of those, like, I don't know, expandable ones. And I ordered this curtain. I thought it was really pretty. I like the pattern on it. It's kind of sheer. It matches kind of the curtains that are up there, with it being like a linen sheer. But I just thought that pattern was just kind of vintagey, kind of pretty. And this is gonna go in front of the sink. Let's install that really quick. Well, that is so much better. Hides all the ugly things I don't want to see. One curtain was perfect. I wish I could have just bought one single curtain, but now I have an extra for if that one ever gets like super tattered, which honestly, like in the sun, there's a good chance that it'll fade and kind of get ruined. So it is kind of nice to have a little backup of the cushions and the curtain. And I love that all those things now are out of sight. Way better. I do need to figure out how I'm going to kind of store those things. Those are my seeds, which honestly, I think I need to move those inside my house. I don't think that these should be stored in the greenhouse. It just gets too hot in here, and that just ruins the germination rate down the road. So those are gonna come inside. I should probably just grab those now. But now I don't see all these ugly things, which is so nice. And now we're gonna get back to work to planting these petunias in this full sun. It's cooking, it's super hot out here. We're gonna get this done. I gotta get these petunias planted. Planting in the middle of the day is probably not the best choice, but Brent and I have some things that we have to do this evening, so I cannot wait. just went back to the shed, grabbed the umbrellas that I bought for this type of thing. So I bought a whole bunch of umbrellas on Amazon. I'll put a link to them in the description down below if they still sell them. But I bought a whole huge pack of umbrellas. They're great. They're white, so they're going to reflect the heat instead of absorbing the heat. And I bought these because I knew I'm going to be doing summer planting, and I bought them last year. So that way, if I plant something and it gets really hot really fast, which it is really hot really fast right now, I can just shove one of these in the ground, and that'll kind of help acclimate it a little bit. So I'm going to pop 3 of these over the Bubblegums because the other ones are starting to get into shade, so they're doing all right. And these guys are not wilting at all, so they should be fine. But the Bubblegums have hours more of sunlight, so that does kind of worry me a little bit. So we're gonna just throw some of these in the ground. And they're great. They've just got a little trigger. They go like this, and then I come over here and just stick it in the ground like that, and that buys those guys right there some shade. So 1 umbrella for 2 of them, that's perfect. It looks like I'm a crazy person with umbrellas stuck throughout the garden, but just when I'm doing a little bit of planting, this isn't going to stay all day long. It'll stay all day today, but tomorrow they're going to come out. They can't be here much longer than that. They just kind of need to help it so it acclimates a little bit more to that sunlight. And it's kind of fun. So I look like the village crazy lady with umbrellas tucked in around my garden, but I'm not going to risk losing $12 plants in my garden. So easy as this. And ta-da, my garden is looking stunning. It does look like a crazy person lives here. Who cares though, right? Not you guys, because we're friends. Anyways, the umbrellas will be gone tomorrow. This will just help out with that little bit of extra heat because it's almost 90 degrees today, so it's shot up a bit. And I don't want those guys to cook. Like I said, these ones are doing really good. They're in the full sun, but they're going to start being in a little bit more shade, so they should be fine. But I do think that this is where we say goodbye today. I feel like this was a very short project, but this is going to be one of the more impactful sections of the garden this year, because this will be one of the first things you see. And Superunia Saffron and Superunia Vista Bubblegum, they're beautiful. I absolutely love these 2. Saffron Finch, sorry, my bad. They're really great, and I did want these ones to be like kind of front and center this year. Like I said, these are going to go on a weekly water soluble and a weekly BT spray. We call it Fertilizer Fridays. We fertilize every Friday. And then usually that night is when we go through, or the next night, we go through with BT. And if you're going to do BT, because you deal with budworms, we deal with budworms, and they eat all the blooms off of your petunias. I don't care if the budworms eat other plants for the most part, but I don't want them to eat all of my blooms. So we spray that. You want to spray it at nighttime because the bacteria, it's a bacteria naturally found in nature. It like dissipates when it gets hit with UV rays. So you kind of got to like stay up on it a little bit. We've had some instances where it was really, really bad. And so we started spraying almost every single day because it was just that bad, and it eradicated the problem. They're just little caterpillars. It doesn't affect everything in the garden. They just really go after petunias, and I don't want them to eat all the blooms off my petunias. So this is where we say goodbye, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you haven't had a chance to, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.